So hello everybody, it's Faisal here from Berkshire Media, and today we've got a good guest, a special guest in the studio.
Yeah.
Manny, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
How are you today, Manny?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, good, good. It's nice to see you brought your family with you today as well.
Yeah, I brought my mum.
So Manny, we're hopefully going to do some more podcasts together.
Yeah.
So maybe what a great opportunity to tell us a little bit about you and what you want to achieve with your podcast.
Okay, so my name's Manny. Okay, my actual name's Emmanuel. I'm 31 years old, and basically growing up, I've been through a lot. So I'm just trying to use my past to like show people what it's like, basically. Because one thing about the African community, we don't like to talk about certain things, whether it's mental health or if you're going through some sort of problems or if you're in a bad lifestyle. Like, we just don't like to talk about it, full stop. So, for example, me growing up, if I had someone like a good role model that showed me that if you went down this road, then this could happen, and so on, then maybe I might have chose a different path, a different life, but I didn't. So,
Indeed.
that's what I'm trying to do now.
So obviously I think it sounds like you've got a lot of experiences that perhaps will resonate with other individuals such as yourselves who may have gone through something similar.
Yeah.
What's your sort of message? What's one learning point you'd say you'll take away that you would like to maybe transfer to some of our listeners?
Just never too late to change. Also never give up, and it's good to talk. One thing that I found out, this is actually therapeutic for me. So every time I talk about things that happen, it makes me feel better. Sometimes I also start to realize certain things as well, which I didn't know. So I think talking about it is really good.
I mean, of course, you're absolutely right. It's not always easy to talk about something that's that personal, perhaps. What sort of age group would you be targeting with your podcasts?
Any, because I started hanging around with bad crowds since like year 7. So it's literally anyone. Like, could be an adult, it could be a teenager, literally anyone that's in the same position that I was in at the time.
Really?
Or even some people are in my position now, and they don't know what direction to go in. Do you know what I mean? So,
okay,
literally for any age. Like,
so what do you think's happening today with teenagers then? Because I think, I'm assuming, year 7, I don't know, what is year 7 nowadays? What age is that? I have no clue, sadly.
12.
12?
Yeah, 12.
Oh, lordy lord. Yeah. Okay, so if we think there are some challenges from 12 years onwards, I mean, what's happening? And it's been such a long time since I've been anywhere near that target group.
I think now, everything's different. Like, back then, it wasn't as glamorized. See now, for example, if you hear a stabbing's happen, not that you'd think is normal, but you get used to it. You're desensitized to it because it happens so much. As for back then, when it happened, it's like, oh my God, this happened. But now it's just like, so what?
Can I ask a really horrible question? Yeah. And this is going to be so inappropriate, but I'm just going to let it go. When you talk about individuals from 12-year-olds onwards, are you looking across all races, or are you looking specifically at particular race or individuals?
All races.
Right.
But then at the same time, like I said, an African community especially, that people like to hold on to the whatever's going on. For example, say for example, if I went through a mental health breakdown, for example, my parents will find it hard to tell other people about it. Say, for example, if I had a mental health breakdown and someone else has had one already in the family and they're open about it, it's kind of easier, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
You already know someone that's been through it, but because they like to hold stuff in and stuff for themselves, it's like everyone just goes for whatever they're going through, and no one really knows. You know what I mean? No one really knows about it.
I sense also there's a lot of peer pressure amongst 12, 13. I'd hate, you couldn't pay me to be a 12 or 13-year-old today, I have to be honest with you. That would be the worst thing on the planet. And I can't imagine the pressure that they go through with all the bad things that are happening around them. And there's a lot of TV programs now that are focusing in on youngsters. The reason I say that, me and my wife watch Coronation Street. How embarrassing is that? But there's a storyline. Oh, well, we too as well. But there's a great storyline where there's a young kid being bullied so badly, not telling his parents, and the impact that's having on the child, which I'm sure happens a lot more than we know.
Yeah, exactly that.
And what did you go through? I mean, just one or two. I'm not going to say highlights because they clearly weren't highlights. But I mean, give us a bit of an indication. What was one of the biggest challenges of pressure, emotionally or psychologically?
Okay, so when I first came to the country, I was born in Italy, basically.
Italy?
Yeah.
I thought you looked a bit Italian, being honest. Wow, look at that. Didn't want to say anything.
So, my mom told me we was going on holiday. So I came here, and now we're looking at schools. So
wow.
I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? And I can't speak a word of English, by the way. September's come now, and I'm thinking I should be going back. And it was like, oh no, I'm just going to stay here for like a year or so. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Obviously, I know something's wrong, but I'm like, all right, no problem. Go to school now. I can't speak the language. Yeah, man. So basically, that's how I started. People, kids like laughing at you and that because you can't speak the language or so and so. And I think one day I just got angry, and then I started to realize that people started to like me more. It was confusing, but it worked, and that's literally just the route that I went in.
And where did that lead you?
To prison.
Okay, well, that's
literally.
Wow. But sadly, that's all too common.
Yeah.
That is all too common. And, what would be great, I guess, in your podcasts is for people to resonate with that story and say, God, is that me? Parents, even.
Yeah.
Because what's quite interesting, how do parents know that? I mean, I don't know if your mother was aware of what you were going through.
No, because obviously, what do you know what I mean? What can I say? Oh, this has happened. Like, first of all, remember, I didn't want to be here.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, it's one of those ones as well. What I understood is that you have to be honest. It doesn't matter what, do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what it is. Like, you have to be honest with your kids so they could be honest with you as well. So at the same time, if my mom would have told me the truth, I might not have liked it, but I would have been able to prepare for it. But because she didn't, because obviously, like I said, in the African community, things are a bit different. Not just in the African community, but I'm talking about African community because that's where I'm from. So smoking, for example, they will never explain to you why smoking is bad. They'll just tell you, don't smoke.
Right.
But it's like, okay, don't smoke. Why should I not smoke?
And what age do you think you sort of reached the dip, the lowest point?
Lowest point in what sense?
Oh, well, I mean, that's a very good point.
There's a lot of lowest points.
Well, I'll let you judge that. I'll let you judge it.
The lowest point where, like, I felt like I was too far gone was probably when I was like 18, 19.
Really?
Yeah, 18, 19.
You talked about going to prison, and I think that's something that's quite impactful, isn't it? I mean, that's probably the understatement of the, ever. How old were you, and what on earth is that like, and what effect has that had?
Okay, so first time I went to prison, I was...
The first time, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. 2013.
Okay.
And it was for intent to supply, Class A. Okay, so like I said, from young, I've been around doing the same sort of things, people that were doing the same sort of things. So it felt like that's all I knew, but really and truly it wasn't. Because at home, like, my parents are religious, do you know what I mean? They go to work and all, do you know what I mean? All these sorts of things. But where, like, you spend so much time with these people, whether it's in school, outside of school, you kind of feel like they're your family as well. So that's one thing as well. So, I felt like they were my family, basically, type of thing. So being around it and seeing them do the same things over and over again, it becomes the norm. So once that becomes the norm, yes, in the back of my head, I knew it was wrong, but it's easy to justify things like yourself. So, yeah, that ended me in prison. I got 21 months, do 10 and a half.
Whereabouts?
In what?
Which prison?
What prison? Okay, so I went to Bullingdon first, and then I went to a foreign national prison because, like I said, I was born in Italy. I have an Italian passport.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're an EU citizen then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
I ended up going to Huntercombe, that's in Henley.
Wow, that's a classy area.
Yeah.
If nothing else, that's a classy area.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's a good place to learn English as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So, how it affected me? It affected me It affected me a lot, actually, confidence-wise. Like, for example, anything that you need to do, you need to ask. So coming out from that, the first time and second time and third time, 3 times.
Wow.
3 times lucky, let's say. It makes you, doubt yourself. So you might, for example, I know this is orange, but I'll be like, I think this is orange.
Right.
And
You'd
I know
want
it's
some
orange.
confirmation.
Yeah, I want some confirmation, some sort of validation. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's been like. And obviously that messes up relationships, because it's like you're meant to be the man and you're asking silly questions. Like, do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, for example, the milk's out. Oh, should I put it in the fridge? And it's like, duh, like.
Sure.
But I didn't understand that at the time. I only understood that after, like when I'm talking in podcasts and people asking me questions, which is why I said, talking is actually good. And you don't have to even talk to someone. You just literally have to put a camera up and just record yourself. You don't even have to record yourself, but that's what works for me. I record it and then I just put it out there and I just try and forget about it, because obviously I don't like looking back and watching myself and that.
Do you think, and as bizarre a question, do you think some individuals look at prison, and not you, but look at prison as a badge of honour, as something to be proud of?
100%. Like I said, when I first came out, that's all I was like, oh yeah, I just came out of prison, It lasted the whole year.
Really? You really milked it, did you?
And then I remember, it's like, hold on, it's been a year.
Yeah.
And then, 100% it is.
That's incredible, isn't it? But the great thing is, Manny, you are turning your life around, and through these sorts of exercises, I think not only you help yourself, but, you know, I'm sure you'll help so many other people as well who could fall into the same trap.
Yeah, God willing, yeah.
We will. Well, look, I mean, will you come back to our studio, Manny?
100%.
Great. Well, look, thank you so much for your time. Great to meet you and your family as well.
Well, thank you.
So maybe we'll get your mother in next time round and have a chat.
To say.
Good. Well, thanks for your time, Manny. Right. And we'll see you very soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.